across the Illawarra, South Coast and Southern Highlands. This is Win News.
Tonight, the regions spearhead an uptake in vaccination as lawmakers consider incentives. Aussie veterans relive the trauma as Afghanistan falls. And devastating scenes as a man dies after a horror highway crash. Good evening, I'm Bruce Roberts. Also tonight on Win News, some of the region's dense bushland left untouched by the Black Summer fires burned off ahead of a forecast dangerous season. Fully vaccinated Aussies could be granted freedoms earlier than others, according to Premier Gladys Berejiklian. The source of a new positive COVID case in Shellharbour, one of two locally, is still being investigated, with a resident isolating at home.
Streets are silent in the Southern Highlands, the town locked down and deserted, but vaccination is raging on.
We can't give enough vaccinations fast enough. We can't get enough Pfizer fast enough to vaccinate all the people who want Pfizer. We've got really good supplies of AstraZeneca and people are coming out of the woodwork to get AstraZeneca.
According to a new analysis by areas, 70 to 79% of residents in Bowral and surrounds have received their first dose, 40 to 49% fully vaccinated. In our region, those rates only rivalled by Berry.
It's common sense. If we're going to tackle this problem, you've got to do the right thing.
I just think sometimes the mixed message about the AstraZeneca put people off a lot, but in a way, like now that it's been explained better and people are more willing.
More than half the state's eligible population has at least one jab, slightly higher in the ACT. Worryingly, less than 5% of 16 to 19-year-olds are fully vaxxed in either state. Rates don't reach 20% until people in their 40s. To boost incentives, those getting in early could be first to taste freedom as early as this month.
When you get to a point where a particular proportion of the community is vaccinated, there are considerations for fully vaccinated people to undertake low-risk activity.
Authorities hope younger residents won't hold out for Pfizer.
Small extra risk of the blood clotting disorder. However, it's just as good a vaccine as the Pfizer. It seems to work just as well. In fact, it may even turn out in some aspects to be superior.
Killy Royal, Win News.
More than 860 cars travelling to the south coast have been stopped and checked as police crack down on movement across the state. Among those caught, a pair travelling from Greater Sydney to a south coast venue to pick up takeaway.
The phase that you're seeing here tonight is all about limiting the movement into regional New South Wales. That's about protecting the people of regional New South Wales from the Delta variants. It's also about making sure that we can get the regional people out of lockdown quicker.
Police are bolstering patrols from Greater Sydney, but also between Canberra and the coast.
We have highway patrol vehicles, some 1,400 highway patrol are focused now on COVID enforcement. They have automatic number plate recognition. They'll be using that.
Hefty fines apply for rule breakers. As footage of a country in ruins is beamed worldwide, our government has confirmed it's working on plans to bring citizens and visa holders home from Afghanistan after the Taliban took control of Kabul. But the Prime Minister says there's no guarantee all Afghani allies will be rescued.
They're the gut-wrenching scenes that have shocked the world. Afghanis running along the tarmac, clinging to US military planes in an attempt to flee Kabul. Inside, 600 men, women and children, the lucky ones to be flown to safety. Their city back in Taliban hands for the first time in 20 years.
The situation in Afghanistan is extremely disturbing, very concerning.
The Prime Minister confirming Afghan visa holders in Australia won't be returned for now. But despite 250 Aussie troops being deployed, there's no guarantee all who have helped us in Afghanistan, like interpreters, will be returned.
Despite our best efforts, I know that support won't reach all that it should. On the ground, events have overtaken many efforts. We wish it were different.
Difficult news for veteran Glenn Colmitz, who's been calling on the government to shuttle them out for months.
We need to get them out of there, get them somewhere safe, like the UAE or somewhere, to process. The time for bureaucracy has passed. It's time to start saving lives now. We can do the paperwork with the government anywhere, but get our people out.
Retribution's a fear for experts who are also concerned what the return of the Taliban may mean for women and children following their brutal treatment in the past.
For these people, I think the future looks very uncertain and doesn't look like the future they imagined for themselves. Many of those people, of course, will be looking to leave Afghanistan.
If it goes back to the way it was pre-2001, I think Afghanistan's in for a pretty rough time again.
Sam Mills, Win News.
A 48-year-old man has died after a frightening crash near Wilton this morning involving two trucks on the Hume Highway. It caused chaos for commuters on their southbound morning trip. The stretch was closed from Narellan Road in Campbelltown to the Picton Road junction. Vehicles were diverted onto Appin Road, Wilton Road and Argyle Street. Investigations into the cause continue. Breast Screen New South Wales has suspended routine appointments, prompting warnings unknown cancers could be more advanced by the time they're found.